Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Jumpstart, feedback for students. Today we got a little bit of everything. We've got the 4-value charcoal study, we've got the rub out, we've got a color study, and then we'll end the show with a look at a landscape. So, morning Janie, good morning Susan, Cindy's here, keeping it all in order. Aloha. Hello, Katie. I believe we're starting with you today, Katie, so I'm glad you made it. So let's see, we've got this morning, it's Katie. What's the order we have here? Let me try to remember this. There we go. Let's just have a look. Oh no, I lied. So we'll have Leah, Katie, then Janie, then Ellie, and then we'll finish with Peggy. Okay, so that'll be the order of the show today. So without too much ado, let us get going. Just a word of fair warning, I do have a dentist appointment at 11. So, on the outside chance that I'm really beat up, Sketch Club may have to be postponed or just shown the video without much commentary. So we'll see what happens there. All right, well, let's have a look. Let's have a look at what Katie's been up to. Here we go. All right. So this has a really nice feel. Feels nice and solid, right? So there's a lot of solidity here. I'd like our focus to be on him a little bit stronger. By graying that background down, we could do that. So there's just a couple of things. So I think if we get the background a bit darker, and then maybe even the his hoodie and mask and light a little bit darker, I think that will serve us well. And the other thing is we've got to watch splitting things into half. And the shadow on his mask, down the nose and up his face, it almost splits his face right in half. So general principle is you don't want equal measures, right? You either want a dominant light or a dominant dark, and very much dominant, not like 55 to 45 or something. You know, at least 65 or maybe even 70 to 30 or more. You know, there's not an exact number, but you want it a definite dominant. I think those things will help. But your tones are nice and even. And I do like the separation in your values. I think I would just distribute them a little bit different. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at that. So the dark is very nice. The dark is very nice. I was just trying to go through the dark. And I think we're good there. So why don't we take our gray and maybe we call it gray, maybe even down like that. Let's see, when I first put this on here, it may look way too dark. But notice as I kind of flatten it out and get it to an even tone, it takes on its own personality, right? Separate from the shadow. Because at first, sometimes it seems like, well, you know what? This may not be enough. I don't know. I don't know. But let's just take this out because eyeballs want to know what's happening on the light. Go to the light. Right? So if we know that the people looking at our painting are trained to go to the light, go to the light. They cannot help but go to the light. And then we're going to make sure that if there's anything light on our canvas, it's exactly where we want them to be. Okay? So again, I'm just going mass tone, and we'll show you little tricks here in a minute. And then I could keep it the same, or I could go even slightly lighter then. Up at the mask. And again, so let's catch those little pinches that you have there are very effective. That could work. Put something like that on the mask. And then if our background, if you want it a bit lighter, let's go to, I bet you we could go up here and even get plenty out. Let's see. Well, let's see if we can go this light and get what we need to get. Now I would be inclined to put this a little closer, this value a little bit closer to my sweatshirt in light. But I wanted to push it a little bit, and let's see how light we can go back here and still get our focus onto the face. So the only way we can go that light is if we're able to, let's see. No, see, that is lighter than, that's lighter than our skin tone. So let's come back. I graded off, and when I graded off, the value dropped. Let's see. So let's see that. So that's still a good jump, right? Look how much darker it is in the mask. How much darker it is. You know, definitely darker. What's it darker? It's lighter than the darks. And is it darker than the light? Yeah. Okay, so it meets all the criteria, which is lighter than the dark and darker than the light. And then if we're working in color, it's going to be less chroma as well. Much less chroma. Okay, let's use the drawing here. I know I may be cutting some things up. But for the sake of time. Alright, so can you see how much stronger we are now on his face? And so we want to get that. And what would happen if we slid this down even more? Right, because this is kind of a little bit even. There's not strong focus on his eye. But if I just drop this down another notch, you see how now we're more, and that's the idea. That's the idea, is that is that whatever our focal point is, right, wherever we want them looking, we want them doing that no matter how big or small it is. And what happens here is the dark is the most different thing, and so it kind of jumps out from the light. But the light's everywhere. And if we adjust it to where the light is where we want them to focus, or the lightest, then it's just a little more effective. Okay, so I hope that helps out. But you know, very good. You've got some beautiful things going on here, Katie. I can tell that you have some skills, some talent, some practice, some experience. You know, not sure exactly where it's at. Probably a combination of all of it. Yeah, so doing some simple things, adjusting those values, then like this is really strong. I mean, there's a lot happening there, right? That's some good drawing. And so if we're just able to quiet the noise in the audience, quiet that audience down because, the band has hit the stage. It's showtime. Okay, so that's the idea. But great, great, great. I love your dark tone, by the way. That is just, it matters. It may seem kind of a weird thing to say, but that I love the tone. But as you get more and more experience, you're going to see good tones and weak tones. And the way you've done that, it's created a real richness. A real richness. Good job. Let's see. Shakti made it. Good morning, Shakti. It's bright and sunny. I was going to say in Atascadero. I'm assuming you're in Atascadero. Maybe you're out vacationing. I don't know. All right, you're on board, Katie? Good. Good. You're very welcome. Thank you for the hard work. I agree. Really nice, Katie. Yeah, you've got some beautiful things happening, and it seems like you've got a nice touch, too. So we're just going to rearrange some of that, and we'll see if we can't let's try to make me sorry that I ever taught you anything, Katie, huh? Try to make me regret teaching you anything. That's the best you can pay me back. Oh, man. Now I got competition. All right, let's look at the rub out. Miss Janny, being all creative, taking Jay here. Taking Jay and sticking him on the baseball field. Is that the Field of Dreams? I don't know. So, really nice. Forgetting what to press here. Let's see. Very, very nice. I love the idea. Where are we looking when we can't really make out what's happening? Right, forget kind of objects. Can everybody see it's right there? You don't really have a choice. That's where you're going to go. So let's see if we can't move this so that it's happening maybe right here. Okay, so that's the idea here. And so when we blow this back up, let's talk about it. Great, Kate. Susan loves it, Katie. Right on. Yeah, fun. You guys are killing me putting all these personalities in paintings. You're making my paintings look dull. And boring. Okay. So do we see what's happening there? So let's take a look at that. No, this is a good place to talk about this. So I'm going to kind of go backwards a little bit here, but I'm going to do it because, Janny's quite a talented painter and artist and very well accomplished. And there's some things that we could tend to right now before we get down the line that we won't be able to fix later. And think about it. You don't have to do it, but think about it. Okay? So those are about the same size. And yeah, that involves shrinking down these trees tremendously, but they're still about equal, right? And I get the feeling that you want him playing baseball, but you obviously want it out in the open, right? And it looks to me like we've even got some fans back here. Okay, so Just having a thunk here. Just having a thunk. I think you'll be happier up the back of the neck. I think if we we can still let him dominate. And then what if we imagined, the fans in the stand, something like that? And then those trees and tree line might be something like that. Again, it's that idea of equality. And the term that I always use and joke about is the fence builder in us. And what I mean by that is we want to make everything equal. It's like, I don't know if this came with the caveman or if we've developed it in our modern life, but that little kind of almost OCD, let's get this here and that set up, and okay, this is like this, and this is get this much, and this gets that much. Art is if we can make something very dominant, yet the whole scene feels balanced. And I literally could not get this concept until I just traced over master paintings again and again and again and again and again to see their proportions. Okay, so let's see. You can tell me what you think. Okay, I think part of it too is if you're doing a portrait or anything and you put them that far down on the canvas, it tends to feel a little oppressive, right? And unless you want that to do, it makes them feel and gives the feeling of them being small, kind of insignificant in the world. And so yeah, I think that. So we'll leave that at there. And then, like I said before, what if we just switched up a couple of things? What if that light was here? And then, that sky. Might even go like something like this. Right? If the sky is like that, then let's go on the ground too. See if we can't go darker, richer. And remember to work across. To slightly lighter, grayer. And that's going to give us a greater sense of that space. And I think that's part of this is we want to, in my mind, right, part of what we're trying to do is show that great space that he's playing in. Again, maybe I should have started with bigger swatches because we're just going to be so small by the time we get to the back. But I just want to give you a taste of this. Show you guys how effective it is. And again, you don't want perfect rectangles like I'm putting here. I'm doing this for demonstration purposes. And you definitely want to be a little, well, if you got the fence back there, but then even back over here as we go back. And back. And back. Right, you see how that helps feel that? And then that darker, richer up front helps set him off. Then when we're up here, just make sure that then the shadow especially is definitely darker than the grass, right? We want to set that aside. Let's see, where's that light coming from? It's coming from forward. Anyway, I'm just thinking about how we're going to shadow the bat, get that bat shadow. And all of that will help come up front. Again, just getting the darker, the lighter, and then what's in between it behind. I think if you combine that with that idea of a different spacing, you have something really, really, really powerful here. Okay, so I hope that helps. Let's see. Boop, boop, boop. I ask myself, what would Susan do? I love it. Love seeing all this work. Yeah, me too. It's so fun. Yeah, and there's just a little equality about it. This guy's a superstar. He's up there at home plate. He's the only one with the bat. All that weight's on him. Right? Whether he's a little boy or Kevin Costner or whoever he is. Wait, Kevin Costner, he didn't play the baseball, did he? He just cleared the cornfield and built it, right? I don't remember. All right, good. Yes, he does. That determination. That's right. Determination. Sue made it. Good morning, Sue. The space is what challenges me. And it's kind of hard, but we just have to be sensitive to how deep things are. Meaning, up here, maybe everything below is at the same, and then let that be like that. And then let's go back and back and back. Boom, right? So that when he hits it out to those trees, he can walk around those bases. Because that ball ain't coming back. Great job, Janny. Great job. All right. You're very, very welcome. Morning, Wendy. Good morning. Yeah, we're all great on our own, but it helps to have some things to play off of every now and then. Have some things to play off of, something to spark your imagination. Miss Ellie. I hope I told Miss Ellie I was doing hers this morning. I didn't get it till this morning. I ducked out a little bit early last night. But very good. Very, very good. So she's got the hat separate from the skin color, right? And those are really the only two colors in here. And again, that background's a little bit light. And I think some of that comes from just not being stained yet. So I don't know if you didn't quite finish or just didn't get there. Especially when I began, the most I could do on my first pass was kind of get the stuff in the right area, right? And then after that, I would say, okay, how is this value right? Right? And then is this color right? And kind of adjust it from there. Okay? This makes my heart so happy. This is a dream come true. Everybody's getting inspired by everybody else. Loving the work. And it's such a joy to have Ellie in here. Such a joy. Okay, but you're handling the paint well, Ellie. One of the things I see in here, and I want to say this because maybe you can recognize it in your own work. This paint looks completely different than this paint. And then that shadow is even flatter and more solid than that. I love the solidness of your tones. Right? And she's simplified it all down, right? And then she's separated it not only in value, but the way she puts the paint down. Okay? I've seen people who never get that. So to have that, that's a big, big thing. So hold on to that. Keep doing that. Now with that said, let's see if we can adjust some colors in here just a little bit. So we're working with a Zorn palette. And again, if it looks different on the photograph, you know, just go off your painting and look at it. I have a feeling in real life it's not quite like this. I think she said it was a bit darker. And I wonder if the skin tone's really that bright. Maybe it is, I don't know. But if we take yellow ochre and we add a little white and we add a little bit of orange, right? And then how you're basically going to control the skin tone is just how red is it, or how pale is it, and then how much color is in there. Okay? We're going to control the chroma with gray, either black or white, or black and white mixed together at the right value. Okay? So let's see if we just gave this a little richer tone and a little darker. Let's take him down about right there. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so look how dark this looks. Now again, I don't think this is accurate, but this is what I have to work with. Now as I do this, and I might be, I don't think so, but I might be, it looks like I'm way too dark. But as I get all of this covered, remember this is the skin and light. Oh, and yeah. Just cover everything so we don't have to work around. Okay, so you see, even when it looked dark when I first put it down, it has a different feel as you take, and that the white and what's around it really affects how it looks. Okay, so if we darken it down a bit, and then if I come to my dark, right, and then I just make sure my dark is a little bit flatter, and it may take you a couple of passes to get the paint like this. That's all right. Hair, hat, corner, very good. The glasses, the eyes. I like this idea. Don't get them quite so even and quite so light. Like maybe these up here are that light, but then down as we come down towards the edge, maybe we can fade those off just a little bit. Right, again, so even those white things are getting your focus up to the eye. Now I'm very aware that this is asking a lot on the first pass, but this is to show you what's next, right? It's to show you what's next so that we can push forward and develop. Right, under the nose, show the side of the nose. Show under the chin there, shadow, wrap that around. that, I remember that shoulder was closer, so. All right, I hope I'm being instructive enough today. Feeling a bit creative, which means my language skills aren't at their best. So you can tie those shadows in with the dark. That works really well. And then, again, by getting that a little bit darker, what that does is we can have more leeway. Look how dark that looks. Look how, can I make that look lit up? Is there any way we can make that look lit up? Well, let's see. Let's take this off. Let me put it on here flat. Take away that lighter stuff that's on there and see if this will be light enough to look lit. Okay, and then if we're there, our background, let's see if we can get our background there. Notice when I check it, I'm going to put it, I don't start way over here, because if I start over there, I can't see how it relates to what I already have down. But if I start right next to where I'm working, I can see, okay, is this going to work or not? But remember, you've got to get all this light off before you can really see what's happening. And what I would start with the background just black and white. Right? I ended up putting a little ochre in there. A bit yellow, but not so much, right? I want to get the skin tone and that hat on there first. Well, as long as you're looking at relationships, it doesn't really matter what's first. There's certain ways of working and stuff that are more efficient, but that differs with each stage. All right, so you see now we're really on the skin, and then that red is so bright that we can probably darken that. And why are we going to want to darken all of this? Well, because a little bit darker seems richer, right? It actually seems like a, whoa, that's a big red. That's a big red. Here we go. And then what I can do is I can save some of this lighter stuff for my highlight or show the corners. Okay, does that make sense? And again, it's if you can do it with thinner and thick paint. And we have one more step here. We still have our highlight, right? Nice highlight on the glasses. Don't like that shape. And I think that was it. Then the other, anyway, let's leave that there. Let's leave that there. Okay, great job. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Again, I'm sure some of it's that photo, but try to get that rich skin tone. Right? If you can get that and then let the other things play at it. If we get everything too light, then when we get to our skin tone and our highlight, they're shoved up kind of too high key and they don't quite read. Right? The only time you want to paint really color and stuff in that really, really high key is if there's like glare and it's blaring out. All right, let's see. Wow. Look at all this, Ellie. Nice style. Leaps and bounds. I think Ellie's just getting started. I don't know. I think she's just getting started. So yeah, some personality. Oh, good. I'm glad you saw it. 'Cause sometimes even if I'm not vocal, you can still learn a lot if you understand what I'm up to. Picture's worth 1,000 words. All right. Good, good, good. Good job, Ellie. Good job, kiddo. How are we doing? I think we're doing pretty good. Yeah, we are, because we've got one more left here. Got one more left. So let's look at... Oh, no, 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 no. You know what I forgot? Ha. That's why I had that feeling. Miss Leah. I'm sorry. Miss Leah. Felt like something was missing. I just couldn't put my finger on it. All right, so Leah's coming to us brand new. And I talked about this on the photograph, but since she's brand new, I wanted to give her a few little drawing tips here. And this goes for all of us. When we look at, so this is a ball cap. The ball cap from Jay, the study of Jay. And when I look at things, I try to think, okay, what kind of simple forms can we break these down into? And by simple forms, I'm thinking forms, but in 3 dimensions, right? So I'm not thinking square, but I'm thinking cube, right? 3 dimensions. I'm not thinking circle, I'm thinking sphere. Okay. We can think cylinder. And we can think cone. Then by putting those things together, we can have basically everything. But what's here? Well, what would happen if we took a saw and sawed this thing in half? Would it look a lot like that? Yeah. Yeah, so one of the things that happens when we're looking at the middle of a sphere is it flattens out. Okay, so what happens here on his is it's a little bit more flattened out. I think you may have, okay, I see the house there. So it's a little flattened out, but we do have to show it come around his head. And so you've got the right idea here. It was just a little too much. A little too much. So rather than what you have there, and sometimes it helps if you'll draw a straight line. And then, okay, if I want to bend it, can I bend it just a little bit? Okay, and that, it took some practice. It took me a long time to get that. Okay, but I think the basic structure of that's going to be, this is going to be almost straight. It's going to come out, and then it's a weird little turn. And then if his face is here, it's going to come back towards his face. Okay, and again, if we're looking up, then just a slight turn there. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that because I didn't think you could get much just from the talk. But, you know, very, very good. One other thing I'll show you, because sometimes it helps to see. What are we going to do? We're going to make this, yeah, let's make this yellow so we can see it. There's kind of a little bead right here. Right? And if this is sitting on top of something, what will happen is right underneath it. Now this goes for a piece of paper sitting on a table or a hat sitting on a head, or a glove sitting on a hand, right? If we want to say that it's on top of, we're just going to give it a slight cast shadow underneath it. Okay? So where that would come in handy on yours here, and I know you were just kind of doing part of it, but let's suppose we were imagining this on the table. What happened? If we were imagining this on a table, then whenever it touched the table, it would leave a cast shadow. Okay, and that'll help too. So that idea of cast shadows. Okay, Leah, very, very good. By the way, we're looking into launching very soon mentors. Some mentors. So when people like Leah come in and like they've never drawn or anything, we're going to make sure that there's somebody there that they can reach out to that can help them along if they have questions or suggest this or that. My idea is to get the whole community involved here and getting us all helping each other. So Leah, if that's something that interests you, stick around and we'll be able to get you a little more help than I've been able to give to you this month. All right, it's good to have you here. All right. Yep, just starting out, Leah. And by the way, that it takes a lot of courage to just start out and then on top of that, take a picture of what you did and send it in for somebody to talk about it. Oof, no thank you. That sounds like that would be painful. So kudos, Leah. Kudos. Thank you for sharing with us. All right, let's finish the show up today with a landscape here. I gotta get my head out of the way so we can get a look at this thing. Okay, so yeah, she had some questions about the trees in front on the left. They seem, a little bit light. And a lot of what this comes down to are these transitions. Okay, so overall, let's look at what we have here and what I see. Because there's some great things happening. There's some great things happening here. But we need to continue the process and take it on down to the next step. But when we're thinking design-wise, look, she's carrying this dark all the way through. Look at that big dark shape. And it's doing something. It's got a gesture. She's grouped all of these darks together. Right? That's great. That's great. Man, you're going back there pretty fast. You got to be careful. Well, she knows she's in control because she stops us. Okay. One of her questions was, were these necessary? I actually wonder if those wouldn't better serve us if we move them down into this area a little bit. I wonder. Wonder. I wonder because that's what I do. You know, I see your idea, and you've got no idea how excited I am to see these things. Because what we're doing is we're thinking orchestration, we're thinking on larger terms. We're trying to take all these parts and design them. Okay, so I want you to know that I clearly see all of that, and keep doing that. Keep doing that. You'll get better and better as you do it, okay? Keep it up. All right, good. Look at all the love coming in for Leah. We got a little thing here, so we're a little bit behind. Wonderful. Good job, Leah. Good job. And now we're looking at Peggy here. Okay, so we've got these wonderful movements in here. Part of what's happening is it's just a little too hard-edged. Okay, a little too hard-edged and too abrupt. Okay, so how might we soften some of that? I want to talk about that, and then I can talk about if we rearrange some of these things a little bit. If I may, can I introduce an idea in here and just see? Let's just see for a minute. What would happen? What would happen if we threw all of this in shadow? Hang with me. What if we threw all of this in shadow? Including, and if these are birch trees too, we can do this. It would just be cool, not warm, but still get them dark. And I love it. Coming out here nice and delicate. I'm having a hard time being delicate enough. But what if we did that? Then to cut down on a little bit of the harshness, what we want to do is we need to show some reflection and shadow in the water. So the water, we don't go from red dirt and dark to blue water and light. That makes the transition a bit harsh. So, and this isn't exactly this color because this is going to be, for one thing, reflecting that bank there. Right? And the same would happen over here. We get a little reflection here in the water. That's going to go to help us get more interesting shapes and to also join that water and that bank together and not make it quite so severe looking. And again, we're being a little rough here because of the time. Okay. And then, what if, let's see, I'd like to see where this is at. It's up at 95. What if we put it there? A little warmer. Let's just see. What if, right, we put those clouds floating by, maybe even right through here, we even see a sky hole or two. Then, in that vein, you've got wonderful grays up here. Those grays are great. But I'm wondering if I can't, at least here up front, make those just a bit darker. Right, again, trying just to compress the light here a little bit. Okay, so just like on the bottom, this would be our big one that's near us. And we can lighten up a little bit as we go further back. And then this wouldn't be quite as voluminous as the first one. Not as many square inches of the canvas covered. And then the horizon, once the horizon got a little darker and more. I'm overshooting this a little, all of it, but. And then the idea being, right, so now we see that green grass really set up. And I could, if I wanted to. Why not? Why not? Let's see. Could I make those hills just a bit darker? Right, and that, you see how that holds that green there? Ooh, too much. Out of control. So once we soften these edges, that'll make all the difference in the world. And then so from here, Peggy, what I see, because I know this was a lot, but the idea being that we have a big introduction that we're holding. Scott, you can get a ton out of sky holes in this big tree. Get silhouette out of this. Silhouette. I might even throw all of this in shadow over here. Okay. Then we can start darker grayer here and walking lighter grayer down here till we hit this. And let's bounce up to that. Okay, so let me take that away. So in other words, we want to make this quiet and then start here, grow here, hand it off to here, and let's finish here, right? Then this could be a little detail right here, a little detail right here. I might even start this bottom one down here just so we have a little more of a flow. Okay, so I hope that helps, Peggy. I hope that helps. Let's see. So the general idea was to kind of shadow the front, darken some of the water with reflections and darker. Now, by the way, it can't be all blue, right? If those reflections, I'll show you this before we go. So I'm going to need a little bit of that color in this water. You see how that looks better than just that pure blue? Okay, so I wanted to show you. And look how much that unified kind of the whole thing after that pure blue went out of there. Right? So I think you're onto something. But think about maybe constructing it like that and then keeping those edges a little softer. Like this edge along here. Think about maybe there's a value in between that you just kind of like salt and pepper along there. Right? So just almost like a little step stool you want to pull up there for a little gradual. A little more gradual. All right. Okay, Peggy, I hope that helped. You guys all did a wonderful job. Thank you for all your hard work. See a little before, after. Okay. So something like that. That's what I might do. Okay, still under time. Good, good, good. Really nice, Peggy. She wants to go for a walk. I want to go for a walk too. I want to be able to breathe and go for a walk. Nice landscape, Peggy. Okay. Oh yeah, so I was chatting with Susan and talking about we don't like the word homework and assignments, but at the same time you do have to dedicate. So I think Susan came up with serious playtime. That's some serious playtime there. We like that. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for a wonderful morning, for your attention. I hope you got some good instruction, some inspiration to get into the studio and do your work. I'll be back tonight on Facebook for Meyer Studio for Sketch Club. Unless my mouth is so swollen that I can't speak, then I'll just wave at you guys and play the video. Either way, you'll have that coming. And then tomorrow morning is class. We've got our two separate classes, one at 8:15 and the other one, if I remember right, is at 9:45. I believe 8:15 and 9:45. Cindy will be sending out the reminder and there she is right there, taking care of it all. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.